Ukraine's defense belt near Avdiivka has collapsed. Now it's nothing for several kilometers. It's day 737 of Russia's operation in Ukraine. Let's dive deeper. Starting from Avdiivka. The defense belt that Ukraine was holding with their manpower has finally collapsed. At Tonenki in my previous video, we saw how Russian forces advanced from Lasto and reached the outskirts from north. In addition, we saw how they also widened the front west of Siverny. Reports say, after which the Russian forces started assaulting the village from two directions. As a result, Ukrainian forces were forced to withdraw from the village, so Russian forces took it fully under their control. Sources say while withdrawing, some of the units went to Orlivka to assist the entrenched unit. However, the situation there was already severe for Ukrainian forces. Previously, we saw how Russian forces entered Orlivka from these two roads, after which they continued their attack further, while targeting Ukrainian movements with various types of ammunition. It seems like Ukrainian reinforcement that came from Tonenki did not help much, as Russian forces were able to capture Orlivka fully. As you can see, the defense belt had started to collapse, as 2 out of 4 villages were already under Russian control, and soon it was going to be 3. At Berdichi, even after Ukraine deployed their Abram tank to the village, Russian forces were able to take this tree line and enter the village. If you remember the early days of Avdiivka operation, then you know that this defense line was very strong. Russian forces tried many times to enter the village, but up until now this line had prevented the attempts. However, now it was under Russian control, so Ukraine's defense in the village became weaker. Latest report says, Russian forces, after their final push on the village, were able to push Ukrainian forces back and took full control of the village. Currently, most of the Ukrainian units that withdrew from Orlivka and Berdichi have regrouped in Semenivka. However, Russian forces have already started attacking the last village of the defense belt. In addition, after the recent attacks, they were able to take control of this field. There is a high chance that Ukrainian units have withdrawn from these fields as well, given the geographic nature. As you can clearly see, Ukraine's defense belt that they tried to hold with manpower has collapsed and gone. After the fall of the last position, which is already underway, Ukraine does not have any good fortifications for several km. If Russian forces keep Ukrainian forces on the back foot, then the next target could be this whole area. Now moving to Chasiv Yar. In my previous report I reported that there are unconfirmed reports about the capture of this entire street by Russian forces. In addition, I also pointed out that Russian paratroopers often delay the info by several days. However, recently we got the update, and it is a big one. If you remember, Russian forces broke through the Ukrainian defensive line at the outskirts and entered the few houses on the first street. It seems like they were able to exploit this breach. They most likely advanced along this highway, threatening the encirclement of this street, in addition expanding the breach further. Today it was reported that they were able to take this whole part of the village under their control. However, many Russian sources reported that Ukrainian forces have withdrawn from the village. But I will wait for confirmation. Subscribe for more frontline updates. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.